Hello, everyone. It's Michele Maher here again this morning, and I'm here with Mel Romulo right now. Thank you so much, Mel, for giving me your time. I really appreciate you coming to discuss with me what we're going through right now and how we will navigate through this crisis, as it were, or this time of introspection, as you were saying. If you want to just give us an overview of who you are and what you are all about.
So my name is Mel Romulo, as you said, and I run a company called Stand Out Loud. It is a transformational and leadership company where we train people to use certain techniques to get themselves into flow, into elevating their game so they can reach certain levels of success. I am a reformed perfectionist. I was previously an accountant. And what I found myself doing was I was running my life based on what was expected of me by my parents, by my teachers, by my family. And what I found is that I actually lost my authentic self and I lost touch with it. So what I did is I got skills and I learned how to actually listen to that inner voice that told me who I am and how I'm to serve. And I bring that also to the people I serve such that they can be authentically living their best life.
Right. Yes. Yes. That's it's great. We have a lot in common in that respect because I was also a former accountant and a perfectionist as well. So we're very alike. Um, so I found myself when this whole thing started that I was spiraling down that whole rabbit hole of fear. Everything was changing so quickly. It started with first of all, my daughter was supposed to go to Europe for March break in grade 11, the school trip, and then that was canceled. All my live events were canceled where I had vendor tables. Just one after another kind of was happening, and then I think it was on the Thursday. I think it was March 12th, right? Yeah, that the NBA had suspended their season, and that was like, if sports is being canceled, this is so huge. And of course, it got even worse after that with Las Vegas being closed. Like, when would that ever happen? So,
Not in my lifetime ever, and I don't expect that it will happen anytime soon after this.
right,
And those feelings of fear are very valid. Let's just face it, we cannot live life without encountering fear of some sort. And fear really is a wake up call to actually look at what's happening such that we can get more in alignment to what we're doing. So the fear is very real. When we come across a crisis such as COVID, where we do have to do things differently, it also gives us the opportunity to look inside and say, but how is it we're going to do things differently? So
exactly.
I was looking at this particular situation almost like an invitation to go inward. So as we are all in our homes, we're doing the same things with ourselves. We're looking deep inside to find out what it is that we're doing and why we are here. When you look at the people who accomplish great things in life, what they realize is that they are unique in themselves. There's not another Michelle like you and the planet, and there's not another Mel like me on the planet. And when we get in line with who we are and learn how our skills, our unique sets of skills, talents, and gifts can be used to serve others, that's where we can flourish. So I've taken the time during being removed from normal day-to-day activities where all of our routines and patterns have been basically broken, to take that time to actually reevaluate all those things that I've picked up in my experiences, what talents, what skills, what gifts I have, and of course, what brings joy in my life, and how it is I can use all those to serve. So when I come out of my cocoon, I emerge like the butterfly and can actually help people bring out the best in themselves.
Right, exactly. And that is definitely true. This is a time to reflect inside and decide who you want to be at the end of this,
Mhm.
and just to be present, because Like you were saying about fear, fine. You're fine to go through the fear, and don't try to push it away, but actually take it in, well, process it and get rid of it, kind of thing.
Well, the
So
truth
that
is, all
don't
our
hold on
negative
to
emo
it.
all our negative emotions are like that. So,
Right.
we feel them, we acknowledge them, we be with them, and it's almost as if we were to actually stay in it for a while, it transforms on its own. And then we were able to actually say, okay, so now what do I do to discharge this? But we do need to go through that process, because by holding on to it, we actually keep it trapped. And
Right.
so by acknowledging it and allow the process to go through and then taking action afterwards allows us to discharge it from our body.
Right. Exactly. And that's what I have found that basically I did by going through the
Mhm.
fear and then deciding that I was going to start doing these interviews to interview people to talk about the different ways to navigate through this. And so really worrying about how long we're going to be in this situation of self isolation, what the world is going to look like afterwards, from a financial point of view and things like that, that worry doesn't serve us at all.
Mm, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
It's like anything. You can spend so much time worrying about it, and all it does is it actually suppresses your immune system, right? It doesn't help with anything. So we just
Absolutely.
need to keep present. Um,
And you know what? That in itself is another gift that we've gotten from this particular experience. Uh, Once again, when we're in the day to day, running to the grocery store, running to get our cars serviced, running to the office, or running to restaurants or coffee dates or meetings, and all the running around that we do, we're always trapped either in the past, what has happened already, that's already gone, or we keep worried about the future when we tend to fill ourselves with anxiety. The true bliss state, though, is actually in the present. And I've been enjoying my time at home in that I get the chance to actually sit and do some meditation. I'm a hypnosis instructor, so I also have been using hypnosis. All the things to keep me present in the present moment and being able to enjoy what it is that I have here in the here and now, rather than necessarily spending most of my time and energy worrying about what's going to happen in the future, whether or not it actually will happen. So it's kind of a
yeah.
waste of energy.
Oh, it is. Oh, it is. It always is. And if you think of any time in the past when you've worried so much about something, does it come true? Most of the time, it doesn't. Most of the time,
Exactly.
your worry is for nothing, except, like you say,
Absolutely.
wasted energy.
Yeah.
So,
So
this is definitely
to
a gift of being present,
absolutely.
which we never, okay, not never maybe, but people really didn't take the time to be present before. Like you said, we were running
We,
on autopilot.
we very rarely allowed ourselves to in the past,
Right,
just to give ourselves the permission to stay in the present moment.
right.
But as we're sitting in our homes, we have nothing else to do but to stay in the present moment.
Right. Yes. And it was always the most used excuse ever is always, I don't have enough time. I don't have time for this. And
Mhm.
that is something you can't be using that excuse anymore. Even at the
Well, it
very least, if you are working from home, you don't have your commute.
and that's in Toronto, that saves us a ton of time. The average commute is like 30 or 40 minutes each way.
At least. At least.
Uh,
I mean, yeah, exactly. So you've got that time at the very least.
Another excuse that we had a tendency to make is not enough money, right? And yes, things are a little bit financially challenging now for people who, I know for you, you had some live events that were scheduled that unfortunately had to be postponed or canceled. I too, my trainings, generally speaking, are live trainings. And so most of my events had to be either canceled or postponed. So yes, there are some financial realities involved, but look at what we've chosen to spend our money on. Think about what you used to spend money on and you thought, well, you know what, there's not enough money because I have to make it stretch. And now we're reevaluating. Was it really important for us to have a venti latte twice a day?
Yes, I do see that missing Starbucks reload.
And you know what? I will go and treat myself to a venti latte, but it probably will not be to the same amount because there are more important things for me to actually be putting my resources towards. So yeah, it reevaluates everything.
That is so true. That's so true now. Although the, takeout is available, I mean the drive-throughs are available, it's not the same. Like I would always, going to a meeting, going to a networking event, I'd stop at Starbucks
Mhm.
to get my latte and maybe a cookie. So,
I know.
yeah, exactly. So,
And even when we talk about food, I have been able to find joy again in cooking.
I
So in
think
the busy
that, yes,
style, honestly eating a lot more at restaurants than I would care to admit. And being at home now, I've actually found the joy in preparing a meal.
yes, I
So
think
yes,
that's the case for a lot of people from what I've heard as well.
yeah,
And before, as you were said, we were always rushing everywhere. So you would, if you didn't eat, you might end up going through that drive-through for, McDonald's or something like that, which isn't the most healthy. And now you're not doing that. So I find people are also eating a lot more healthy because you're not having the takeout.
absolutely, for sure.
Yeah. So what what I've found is to just not even watch the news. News is off. Just keep updated as to what we are required to do to keep
I'm
safe.
looking for the flattening of the curve. Other than
Exactly.
that, I'm looking for anything else in the news. I have actually my father-in-law lives with me and he loves to watch the news. So he keeps
Okay.
me up on the facts that I want to hear and all the other things that really are not important for my own personal well-being. I've decided that I'm not paying attention to that at this time. Uh, Social media, I'm very careful about it. Very careful about
Yes.
what I'm consuming online because yes, there are a lot of people there who are still dealing with the fear, and I'm beyond.
Still,
We're still
yeah.
dealing with it from time to time. So I just would prefer to do my own work and reach out to my community and talk to people, have heart to heart conversations like we would normally have if we were at a coffee shop, and keeping connected, but looking at all the positive things that are around. The planet is healing for once. You've got the waters in Venice, you can see fish. I was talking to someone the other day and said that the Ganges, which has been uh, highly polluted in India, because the factories are not running, the waters there are now clean. So it's looking at the good aspects of life rather than focusing on the fears where I've decided to put my attention.
Right, exactly. And somebody was just telling me recently to go outside at night and just look up at the sky, but or even go for a drive at night and just look up at the sky because in the city alone we can see a lot more than we used to. I haven't done that yet, but yeah, I could see that because and the thing is too, I think a lot of people are appreciating nature as well a lot more. People that wanted to take time to go for walks, but again said they didn't have the time because they didn't make the time, and now they're doing that. So people are actually noticing the trees having buds and the tulips now, the tulips coming out, the birds, and it's
It's a
like
wonderful time. Spring is a time of renewal. And so to be able
exactly.
to go out and see it all happening without necessarily going quickly past it, to actually spend time in it. which of course is our
and
natural state.
actually sit. Yeah, exactly. Just sit and absorb, and you just sit and be with nature. It's a great time for that as well. Um, uh, as well, it's a time to get creative if you are one that has a small business,
Absolutely.
to see what you can do in terms of online. We have this technology. I know I've been on Zoom a lot since this started, and with the technology, as well as all kinds of people offering free webinars and courses, or Zoom calls and things like that, there's a
Well,
lot you can learn.
I've been using Zoom for years, as
Yeah.
a lot of people in my type of work have been, and I find it funny that all this. It's only now that people are forced to use technology. Is Zoom becoming a household name? But it's been
Well,
around for a long time.
oh, I know it has, but it's now everybody has used it, and their stock has just rocketed as a
I know.
result.
I gotten in on that years ago. That would have been amazing.
I
And it's
know.
okay. It's a tool that we all use, and it keeps us in touch, even if we can't be physically in front of each other, to be able to actually see someone's face while we're talking. It's still not the same as being in person, but it's good for now, and it allows us to imagine the possibilities, to be able to communicate in different ways on different levels using technology. So yeah, Zoom
Right.
has been an amazing tool to get people through this. It's opened up a few doors, especially with people in corporate who they basically only saw people being able to work on site, face to face. To be able to give that flexibility allows business to be done differently. So hopefully they see that type of opportunity and can seize on it even beyond the crisis that we're in now.
Going forward. Yes, exactly. Because all those big corporations now have everybody working from home. And I know when I worked at the bank, working from home was definitely not something favored.
No.
There was that fear, you're not going to be productive. We have to see you, that kind of mindset. And now everybody's functioning. Companies
Mhm.
are functioning. I was just speaking on one of these with my friend who's a mortgage broker. 200 brokers all of a sudden working from home. It went off without a glitch. Everything was fine. Everybody's being paid, no problems, and everybody's now working remotely, and it's all they're busier than ever too. So
There is
it's
one thing though I'd like to bring up when it comes to working at home. For those who are in corporate and have to answer to the organizations, there will become a need to be able to set boundaries around the work at home. I was reading an article written by a colleague of mine talking about how the workplace could become the almost like the dinner guest that refuses to leave. When we saw
true.
it when we came up with the BlackBerry, oh, well, you're now mobile, but we own you, and you should be able to respond to all emails and all messages when we need you to. So
Yes.
there is a need now that we have opened up this door to understand that there's needs for good, healthy boundaries, such that when you're working, and when you're home and in your private time, that they're still held sacred.
Yeah. An appropriate division. You're
Oh,
leaving work, go to as opposed to entrepreneurs.
oh, we never leave work, and we
Oh
need to
yeah.
learn how to set those boundaries as well. I
Yes.
know
That
for me,
that is true.
working when I was working as an accountant, I found it very difficult to shut off, like, because I brought my practice at home at one point. And when I did that, I had to learn how to set those boundaries. I had to
Yes.
learn to say, when I'm not working, and be able to be truly present with my family rather than saying that it doesn't stop.
Yes, right. Totally true as well. And for some people that are able to bring their businesses online, where they have live events, and perhaps, move it on into an online conference. The one benefit to that is that you now have a global community that you can capture, not just your local community anymore.
Yeah.
So going forward, this might be an opportunity to have, your online side and your live event side going forward.
Well,
And
the thing is, that was my plan earlier this year. And so it had to go a lot faster than I expected.
yes,
So
I've heard a bit of that. I've heard a few people talking like that.
things online. And there are certain things that, a live event is not going to be replaced that easily for certain things.
Right.
Um, and it's not a question of either I do this or I do that. It's about how do we blend the two for the best possible experience for everyone.
Exactly, right. Yes. And there are some people with brick and mortar boutiques that have said, "Oh, I wanted to have an online store as well." And now of course they've had to do this very quickly, set up an online store. And I've heard some cases of people doing that. But at the same time, it's also a good time for small business owners to provide education and educate and serve their clients right now
Mhm.
through this crisis. Especially for the brick and mortar locations that cannot service their clients right now, like hair salons and nail salons and massage
Yeah.
therapists. This is a time for them to provide education and, figure out how to pivot their business so that they are still providing some service and then be ready for when there's going to be lineups when they can reopen.
I'm not looking forward to taking my nail appointment. Let's put it that way. It's going to be a task, a monumental task to get a slot, and that's okay. And I know very well that when it comes to keeping that connection, so that your customers stay loyal to you when you are that busy, that's really important too. So I
Yes.
with my nail salon, I have a long-standing relationship with the lady who does my nails, and if I have to wait 2 months to get my nails done, I will, because it's not worth it for me to get an earlier appointment and go somewhere else. I am that
Yes.
desperate.
Well, that's the same for me as well, and especially for my hair. I will
Oh,
not be going somewhere else.
yeah, that's with the hair, Michelle, not yours.
No, I had to do that once when she broke her ankle and couldn't work for a few months. So, yeah, I'm not doing that again. I will do what I can to make sure I get in there, and if I
Yeah,
have to wait, I wait. Yeah,
brand
but
loyalty is very important, definitely during this time.
yes, yes, it is. But yeah, so it's just really an opportunity to get creative and look at even things that you wanted to do in your business, like you were saying, you were looking at possibly having online. Now, figure out things on your to-do list that you always wanted to do. This is
Mhm,
the time. You have the
definitely.
resources, you have the time, and you have the resources with the
I
technology.
have excuses, Michelle.
Yeah, yeah, the excuses have been taken away from you, basically.
There's no excuses at all. The amount of support that we also have in our communities have been really big. So to know that there are people you can just reach out and bounce ideas off of, that's invaluable. And they're all around. They're not too busy to talk to you either. So yeah, there's a really big opportunity to get creative and get some really awesome solutions out there.
For sure. Yeah, there's so many people coming out and offering support and coming together as a community.
Mhm.
Um, even to down to people offering to buy groceries for people who
Yeah.
can't get out. Yeah. So it's nice to see the sense of community, and that's something that I hope will continue afterwards as we get out of this, onto the other side of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It's love and kindness is what's going to bring us out of this.
Well, you know what? I was also thinking about how many people in their communities don't even know who their neighbors are. And I can
True.
only imagine what it'd be like once we all get out. I'm hoping we return to a world where giving a smile and a hello to somebody on the street because you haven't seen faces for a long time becomes something that's really important and valuable to people.
That is so true because right now I know I find for myself when I have gone to the grocery store, yeah, nobody's smiling, everybody's trying to avoid looking at the other person. I make sure to smile and be, friendly with the at the cash when I'm leaving, right? And anybody working there, but everybody is all like just on a mission. You can see everybody's in a mission, and I can pick up as well. I can pick up all their fear,
Yeah.
and I feel um, I feel drained after. I feel drained, and I feel almost sad after the grocery store.
Well, what I could challenge people to do next time they go to the grocery store, knowing that what you're feeling is probably what everybody else is feeling as well. Because especially now, you're finding more and more people are having actually empathy for those who are around them. Give them that smile, no matter how difficult it is to grab it. Give them the smile. Give them a reason to smile back. I was
Yeah,
looking
that's
at the other day on TikTok. There was a older gentleman saying a poem, and the basic thing he was talking about is be the smile that infects the world. You smile at somebody, they may get inspired to smile at someone else, and then
true.
higher experience, even as we are distancing ourselves, actually can transform right in that moment. Uh, a person can see a smile from a mile away. So we don't have to be within that 6 foot
Yeah,
distance to be able to send a smile.
true. That's true for sure. That is, yeah,
One person
definitely.
just change the energy around ourselves. And then it's not as draining.
Right, right. I will definitely do that the next time I have to venture out. Um, Hopefully not too soon. My daughter's just really struggling with no ice cream.
We have ice cream.
Well, I mean, we have it, but it was like it's not her favorite one because her favorite one is at Costco, and I am not going in that line.
Well, you know what? Sometimes you're just gonna have to go with good enough rather than perfect.
Exactly, exactly. And I think there's some lessons to be learned for the teenagers right now as well.
Oh,
Um,
I know with my 14-year-old, this was her first year out of in high school, and she was looking forward to having that autonomy to spend her spring break just getting on the bus and going out with her friends. And when that all came crashing down, it was like, yeah, it was pretty dramatic for the first few days, pretty dramatic.
yes,
And now she's going with the flow. She's just like, okay, it is what it is. She learned about Zoom a while ago, so she knew that that was available, and they FaceTime all their friends.
I know.
And now they're just itching to go back to school. Never in human history have so many kids been wanting to go back to school.
I know. I know. It's true. It's true. My daughter was so upset when they said it was going to be delayed again.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's the whole social side, but just like we're itching to get back to our live events where we can actually hug each other. And yeah,
I was about to say I'm a hugger, and I don't think kids want me to hug anymore because I got to get it all from them, and they're like, going, "Can we move on?" I'm like, not until this is done. I do miss that contact.
yes, yeah, yeah. But that's a great point though with the neighbors and everything like that because so yeah, after this, I think everybody's going to have a new appreciation for so many things that were taken for granted before.
And you know what? It's up to each and every one of us to make that decision that we are going to go and change our normal patterns. Everyone keeps talking about let's go back to normal. And I'm like going, no, no, let's go back to a new normal. And we get to decide what that is.
Exactly. And let's take some pieces out of this period of time and continue them going forward
Yeah.
as well. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time, Mel. That was great talking to you.
I really did enjoy our chat. And I hope everyone um, stays healthy and happy and comes out of this newer and better for the experience.
Yes, yes, and I believe we will as a global community. You know, going to come out as better humans as well.
Wonderful.
Okay, thank
Thank
you so much, and I will put your contact info and everything underneath this video when I put it up online. And again, thank you for your time,
you.
and bye everybody.
Bye.